One of the biggest mistakes that I see with businesses is that they haven't clearly identified who it is that they're wanting to serve. So you might have heard the term niche or ideal client. This is what we're talking about. Who is it that is the most ideal person for you to work with in what part of the market? Part of the market is kind of like the niche, the industry, the sort of area in which you work. Okay, so as an example, if you're a fitness coach, that's the industry, the fitness industry, and we want to niche it down a little bit more than that. Okay, and so this is where we then look at the ideal client. So who within the fitness industry is going to be your most ideal client? And this is how you get really, really specific on what it is, on who it is that you want to work with. Okay. So, for example, if you happen to be a veteran, right, then it could be a natural fit that maybe you work specifically with veterans in the fitness space. If you have a passion for helping people in their middle age get back a healthy body, a healthy lifestyle, and regain energy and a sense of vitality, then maybe it's that you work with people within sort of 38 to 48 age range. And of course, you can niche this down even more than that to a more specific ideal client. Like you could say you only work with males, maybe they're executives, and so on and so forth. So there's a real process that I take clients through when it comes to understanding their niche and their ideal client within that niche. But I just wanted to say today that this, generally speaking, is a very, very big mistake that I see a lot of businesses making. And it's one of the reasons why you might find that your marketing, your sales, and everything about your business really is just not getting the results that you're looking for. Because at the end of the day, if we're not specific on who we work with, then it's really hard for the marketplace to understand who it is we work with. And it's really hard for you to produce content to deliver it to someone who feel in a way that it feels like that you're speaking directly to them because you're trying to speak to everyone. So when you get specific on that, your marketing will have a better penetration in terms of like cutting through the noise in the marketplace, but also making people feel really heard and seen, which is going to make them obviously really like your content and it's going to be really relevant to them, right? And then, of course, when it comes to the sales process, when you're offering specific products, specific services to a certain type of person, and you've actually designed your services to get that specific person a very real result because you understand their problems, their desires, what they need, what help they're looking for, whether that's help in the form of your service or if you offer a product. Okay. And then obviously, because of that, not only are you going to be able to more easily sell them, but when they actually use the product or service, they're going to get better results because it's been designed specifically for them, right? And so when it comes to your niche, when it comes to your ideal client, make sure you're getting really specific. Make sure you really understand everything about them, okay? Their problems, their desires, what it is they're looking for, what sort of help they need. And this is where you can also think, well, what are the other services and products out there in the marketplace, the solutions that other people are offering, and what's wrong with it? What does this specific person need that people aren't offering out there? And that's how you can also more easily create a point of difference in the marketplace. So if you're a business owner or thinking about starting a business, this is always the first place I start with a client. And you'd be surprised how many six-figure, multiple six, even seven-figure businesses I've worked with who find that they just get capped. They're not getting clients very good results. They're struggling to really like break through to the next level. And it's because they're still trying to be everything to everyone. And some people, very few manage to get sort of six to multiple six without having a clear niche. Some do get to seven, but they eventually you're going to run into a wall, basically. You need to really start with that specific person in mind, to develop everything around that person. And that's going to allow you to scale because you're going to be known for working with a certain type of person. The market's going to understand exactly what you do. Everything you say is going to speak to them. And when they come in and they use your product or service, they're going to get amazing results because you've really designed it for them. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't branch out further. So an example of where niche worked really, really well for a very well-known company, and then they were able to actually scale out to more marketplaces later, is Lululemon, right? Most of you have probably heard of the brand Lululemon. And what a lot of people don't know is they started working specifically on creating yoga pants for women, right? So they were in the yoga space. So if you think large scale industry, they were in the kind of fitness apparel, okay? And they could have just tried to do that. They could have been like most other brands out there and just said, we make fitness apparel and had yoga pants and had tank tops and, sports bras and, male stuff as well. male gym shorts, gym singlets, all this sort of stuff, right? And it might have been a bit harder for them to actually break into the marketplace. But instead, they niched down and they said, we're only going to work with women, and we're only going to work with women that are interested in yoga and the yoga teachings and lifestyle. And we're only going to create yoga pants. And they got really well known for their yoga pants. Then they started building more products and offers to that specific ideal client around their pants. And eventually, it wasn't actually years after they started that they then branched out into offering stuff for men's. And then later on, they started offering a wider range of fitness apparel. And it's no surprise that they became a very successful company. And I believe it's because they started with knowing exactly who it was that they were creating a product for. They started very specific. And one of the key things they did is they looked at what was actually wrong with all the other offers out there on the marketplace in terms of those yoga pants, and they made them better. And so they got known for that. And that was how they were also able to command, after getting some traction, such a high price for their products because they were so well built because they really understood who it was they were serving. So with your business, be specific, know what niche you're in, know which ideal client. So a lot of people talk about ideal client as the niche. I kind of separate the two because really a niche is like a sector of the market, but then you can get more specific of that with your ideal client. I think it helps my clients to think that way in terms of just calling the whole thing the niche, right? We kind of break it down in stages, but whatever it is you do, whatever service product you offer, make sure that you understand this. And if you don't have a niche or an ideal client, and some of the problems I mentioned you've been finding in your business, this might be why. So I really recommend that you go back, you actually look at that and spend a lot of time there. And there's a specific process I take clients through, and we go really, really deep. We look at, what TV shows is this person watching, what things they talk about with their friends, who do they go to for advice, what do they spend their money on. So obviously this video is not to go through that entire process, but just to help you understand that you can take this really, really far. And yes, it can take a little bit of time. Maybe you need to go and actually ask someone that you know who happens to be like an avatar of your ideal client some questions about some of these things to really understand them. But I guarantee you that this time spent will be really, really valuable because not only will it get you better results, but it'll actually save you a lot of time later, like I mentioned. So have fun getting to know your niche and ideal client. Thanks so much for watching the video. I hope you got a lot of value out of it. If you did, please let me know. Obviously, you can hit the like button to let other people know that it was a valuable video. Please leave me a comment if you want. And as always, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button to get notified for more videos.